sends it to the outside. He can't get there. Kevin King is going to win the Barr FTF Cup Series.
Into the lead. Bud gets wrecked in front of the pack. He saves it. 3-4 wide as they come to the white flag.
Here comes Vargas down on the apron. They are 5 wide. Ian Plash will win it at the line. Is this package? Oh, there goes Jordan Lopez Jr. That's your race leader. Caution flag is out.
Still no one willing to give up as they're going to be dead even off of the first chicane.
Oh, he saves it. What's going to happen here? Here comes the canvas.
Get your foot there.
He's got it. He's got it. Get there. No.
Canvas is going to win. FTF.GG welcomes you to the virtual Michigan International Speedway in Brooklyn, Michigan. The Barr Visual FTF Cup Series has tonight's race. The Spencer finally graduated from the Ohio State University. 450K. We're about set to go. 140 laps, 3 stages, 44 drivers. Jacob Pitts, Caleb Hoffman here with you, and here we go. From Michigan. This is pretty much the only place that's like this anymore. I mean, I doubt they'll have the new Auto Club in the sim, so we may still go to the old Auto Club next season. But other than that, here we are. It's pretty much the only 2-mile track that's left on the planet.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, one of its kind. This is gonna be interesting here today. Last time at Pocono in the second leg of the doubleheader last week, Parker White picked up his 7th win on the season. I think that has to be the main storyline: is can he keep it up and go for 8 here today?
Take a look at our starting grid for tonight's race here from Michigan. Daniel Falkingham, first pole of 2023. He'll line up with Parker White, the 5-time pole winner and 7-time race winner this year, to the outside. Matthew Zwack and Michael P. Frisch there in row number 2. Daniel Botafuco, Lawson Peel in row 3. Wyatt Tinsley and Brian Mercurio to the outside in row 4. Logan Helton and Brandon Hawken rounding out the top 10.
Barr Visuals FTF 500 champion going to start on the inside of row number 6 and 11th. That's Ryan Doucette. Kyler Wynn starts 12th. To his outside. Blake Reynolds is going to be alongside Blake Bryant. They'll make up row number 7. Kevin King in row number 8. Right next to him going to be Nick Miller. Jordan Worth starting in the 9th row in 17th position. Michael Gonzalez to his outside in 18th. Malik Ray here tonight. Continue his fight towards the playoffs. He's in row 10 alongside Jonathan Oates.
Field begins to roll off the pit lane. Nate Stewart had a top 5 finish last week at Pocono. He lines up in that row 11 spot. That is 21st. Matt Spalding to the outside. Joseph Armstrong and Jack Mace back there in row 12. Seth Knowles, Sandra Nyhoff. Cole Hooper making his FTF debut tonight. Chris Wetz to the outside. Malachi Drake and Brett Punkar rounding out the top 30.
And then looking on back here, we'll get the rest of the field. David L. Brown starting in 31st. Kevin McAdams to his outside. And at number 37, Jake Poole in 33rd. Devin Mistack 34th. Nathan Rabideau in the 35th position. Jonathan Oshalem in the 36th position. Jonathan Goke, row 19, with Phil McCandless to his outside. Cosmin Ionescu, row 20, and then Lucas Plessel in 40th.
Rounding out the field, final 4 drivers. They are, well, we're not going to show them, I guess. They're not important enough. It's Paul Mikolajczyk, Ryan Naraki, Justin Malillo, Ryan Pandicio, and Brian Zabelski. Meanwhile, the field is in 3 and 4, getting set to go for the start here from, no, we've got one more pace lap. Okay, yeah, duh, lights are still on the pace car. Let's take a look at the points then while we're here. As we're getting down to it as far as the playoffs are concerned. After tonight, 5 races to go before the playoffs are set and done. Parker White, those points are not correct. Unbelievable. All right. I was told we had points. That was a lie. Parker White's got 7 wins. He's obviously locked in. Wyatt Tinsley, he needs to make 2 more starts yet, I think, in order for him to be locked in with his win. Same with Blake Reynolds. Michael Guest needs 3 more starts. Dylan Basin, he needs 1 more start. Unfortunately for him, he did not qualify for this race. Trouble, by the way. Justin Malillo has fallen out. Sebastian Marin's going to need some help for his win to count from Talladega. Malik Ray's got to make every single race from here to the end, or at least attempt it. So far, so good. A 2-time winner, one at Richmond, one at New Hampshire a couple weeks ago. Ryan Doucette's only path is to point his way in, and he's got a long way to go to do so. Even though he has made now, this will be the 4th race in a row that he has attended. Other than that, in on points right now, Fresh, Buttafuoco, Mercurio, Hawken, Falkingham, McAdams, King, Zwack, Brown, and Nalraki. Right now, Chris Sweat's the first man out by 20 points over Nalraki. But Nalraki would be the first one out if Malik Ray can hit that magic number that he needs, which is 20 starts. Right now, he is 6 short of that. You basically need 20 starts by the time we get to the end of 26 races. Well, he's missed 6, so he's got to make every race from here on out. Daniel Falkingham and Parker Ryder on the front row. Green flags in the air. We're racing in Michigan on FTF. New colors for the Daniel Falkingham machine. It's hard to miss him. He is out in front and your leader. He's also got the yellow splitter. Trouble into turn number 1. One car gets turned around to the inside, back up across the racetrack. Multiple cars into the outside safer area in turn number 1. Nick Miller is one of them. And the caution flag is out. Logan Helton is around. His car is torn up. Kyler Wynn has damage. He's facing the wrong way. And I think it was Lawson Peel, the first car, sideways going into turn number 1. And from then on, chaos at the front of the pack.
And what a note to start this race off on, Jacob. I think you're right. I think it was Lawson Peel. We'll see what happens here if he just came down. I think he did. I think he thought he was clear and just wasn't. Well, Kyler Wynn gets spun as well. That's the main group that goes back up in front of the track, and all things considered, I think a lot better than it could have been.
We need a view from up top on this, because that's netcode that turns Lawson Peel around, and then from then on, it's Logan Helton making contact with Kyler Wynn that sets the rest of this off. They were 3 wide, about 4 or 5 spots behind, and Kyler Wynn, it looks like, just kind of turns down in front of Logan Helton. There you see Peel goes around, and then it's like Wynn just turns down the racetrack and gets turned by the 63, and from there, nowhere for these guys to go.
And it's so difficult on one of these initial starts as well, because you have everybody 3-4 wide trying to make those aggressive moves to get up towards the front. And when that happens, there's just no margin for error and nowhere you can go. It really sucks for a lot of these guys, but I think the good news is only a few cars are going to come out of that with any sort of significant damage, and I think it's going to be Kyler Wynn, maybe the 73 machine of Jonathan Oates.
All right, so pit road is open. Daniel Buttafuoco will make a stop, as well as those toward the middle and back of the field, but those up at the front will stay out. We've had a rule change coming into tonight's race, and it's all about restarts. So, single file restarts will be in effect if we get 2 restart wrecks in a row. A warning will be given out after the first restart wreck. I don't think that most recent crash counted, but we'll get a warning after the first one, and then at the next one, we'll have single file restarts to the end of the race. So, you know, they could ruin the race for themselves pretty early. Restart rec is defined as a number of laps based on the track. I believe we're going with 2 laps here at Michigan, if I heard that right. And it has been confirmed that does not count as a restart wreck. So I guess we've got 2 more wrecks in us. But yeah, that would be for the rest of the race. And plus, that was caused by netcode. So I think it's all good as well. I don't know. I still don't understand how it works. But maybe by the end of the year we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that I don't know if that was an exemption because it's on the initial start. There was a clarification made. Benjamin Easterday came over the in-game session chat and said that it was because it was a netcode. Netcode is what caused the contact, and that's why it wasn't counted towards the restart rec policy, not that it was the initial start. So I think going forward, again, that initial start might count. And like you said, we could they could ruin a race for themselves pretty quickly if that's the case.
No idea. But you see it on the ticker there that Daniel Falkingham's name is lit up in yellow. Why is that? Well, I talked about this briefly. Or no, I guess I didn't. The general classification thing. Talked about this a couple weeks ago, though. That basically, if you're making all the starts from New Hampshire last week to Watkins Glen here in 2 weeks' time, if you're making all those starts, the highest finisher out of all of that will win $50. Basically, this is a playoff of the Tour de France and that whole deal. So if you're the leader after the race prior, you'll be in yellow coming into the next week. So Falkingham has the best basically finish position out of everybody over the last 2 races from New Hampshire Pocono. So he leads tonight. If he is able to maintain that after tonight's race, he'll earn, I think, a $5 bonus for having the yellow splitter on his race car. It's Splash Go Graphics putting all that on for us here throughout these final couple races. So we'll see how things go leading up toward the playoffs. We're back to green on lap 5. Falkingham down and away, and he's clear. Parker White's turn 1.
And we'll have to see. Malik Ray was definitely one last restart that wanted to check out that very bottom lane 3 wide. Joseph Armstrong as well. Don't see as much action down there right now. Lots more double file action as they now come off too.
One guy way down there trying to make a lane for himself. That's Nick Miller. Problem for him, though, is no, that's not Nick Miller. That's Matt Spalding in the 54. Problem is he is going backward right now on the racetrack. Single file for the top 3. Wyatt Tinsley on the outside. Mercurio on the inside for 4th. Matthew Zwack is right there as well. Zwack had a nice little finish for himself last week at Pocono. Finished inside the top 5. His first top 5 since Charlotte.
Yeah, I mean, right now, a few faces. I know Frisch hasn't had some of the runs that he's wanted. He's sitting up inside the top 3 right now. Mercurio as well has battled some bad luck last few weeks. He's sitting up inside the top 10 at the moment. Blake Bryan as well. So lots of fun faces up here if they can just keep the car clean for next few laps. Good news is I think we've made our allotted time and should be good for this new restart rule.
Seven laps complete. First side-by-side battle. Right now it's Brian Mercurio going backward. Getting passed by folks up on the outside. Hawken gets by. Here comes the 66 of Blake Reynolds to the outside. Ryan Doucette is up there as well, and they just keep freight training. Car in the wall. Off turn 2, back down into traffic, and into the outside wall. Caution's out. It's Devin Mistack that was the first car sideways. He comes down and collects Sander Nyhoff, and the caution's out for the second time tonight.
Well, a little bit of jinx in action there. And that is a strange wreck. I mean, I think he just got caught in the wall trying to get it off of it. Just came down into traffic. We'll take a look here.
Got loose. tried to keep it off the guy on the inside and hooked it back to the outside, and then trying to get it off the fence. Came down and clocked poor old Sander and turned him up into the outside wall. A lot of damage to both cars.
And that's just a really tough break because you don't want to damage your own car by staying up in that wall, but at the same time you don't want to come back down into traffic like that. Just tough when you're 3 wide like that. And unfortunate start to the night here as we're under our second caution. There's Parker White.
Pit stops for some. First will come down onto pit road. A lot of others. Falkingham, Parker White, Brandon Hawkins stay out, as will Jake Poulin, Seth Noel, Lawson Peel, and a couple of others that have already made a stop. But everybody else here will make a pit stop.
That's really interesting here. I mean, only 10 laps into this run. I think maybe some stage trickery here, maybe. Keep in mind, stage 1 comes to an end at lap 40. So only 30 laps away. Maybe some of these guys that are going to try to stretch it to there. But the good news for some of these leaders who didn't decide to come down is if we continue on a cycle of cautions here tonight, then they will be in good shape up here in the position to save, should they need it towards the end of this stage 1.
Philip Canlis has fallen out yet again. That's the second time that he's dropped out of the session, so some internet issues there for the 109. As Malillo is back on the lead lap, by the way, after he had his issues.
And I mean, I know we're only 10 laps into this thing, but how about Daniel Falkingham up here? I mean, he's been chasing down that first win all season long, and on the pole tonight, we know he has speed. He's shown he's had speed at a few other tracks so far this season. And, he wants to break through and finally get kind of this bug off his back and get into victory lane finally.
Yeah, you look at Falkingham's numbers this year. He currently sits 6th in overall points. He only had 2 top 10 finishes before Talladega. Talladega was in April. Since Talladega, the middle of April, he had 3 finishes outside the top 20 at Dega, Dover, and Kansas. But since the end of May, he's been consistent, been inside the top 20 for every finish. Picked up his season best 3rd place finish at New Hampshire. 4 of his last 5 finishes have been inside the top 10. 7th at Nashville, 7th at the Chicago Street Course, 17th at Chicagoland, 3rd at New Hampshire, and then 7th again last week at Pocono.
And I mean, very believable last weekend that, he could have been on pace to win both of those races. Just had a little bit of misfortune he ran into. But, I mean, the speed is there from that 054 camp. If they can just put a race together, they have been so close to that victory lane.
There was a point at Pocono where Falkingham had the fastest car. Unfortunately, things didn't shake out his way, and he was able to still come away with the top 10. He's on the front row on the restart with Parker White. Green flag back in the air. We're back to racing at Pocono. No, at Michigan. I know where we're at. And they are stacking up on this restart. We got trouble.
Wrecking.
Paul Mikolajczyk's in the wall. And this is exactly the crap that we wanted to avoid. Michael P. Frisch is in it. Michael Gonzalez. Nyhoff again. He is disconnected. He's given up. And it's wrecking in the back outside the top 30. that brings out the third caution flag of the night.
And we'll get a look here on the restart. I think it's just a checkup in the back of this field, and like you said, what we wanted to avoid. And certainly an incident just occurred.
Yeah, they just all stacked up. Jonathan Oates couldn't get going because the people in front of him couldn't get going, and then Mikolajczyk gets into the back of Doucette. No, got into the back of Oates, and then Doucette nowhere to go. Same with Frisch. And then Nyhoff gets turned around trying to avoid them. You're right on board with Sander here on the 115. Just gets turned. Hard hit to the inside wall. We're going to break. 12 laps are complete. It's our third caution flag of the night. We're in for a long one from Michigan. Hang with us. Back here from Michigan, just like Trey Turner is back. Had himself a game tonight, rather. Finally figured out how to hit a home run, hit a double, recorded the final out.
You know, it's a good sign when we're on lap 15 and Jacob is resorting to Phillies talk.
Look, I only work with what the field gives me. If they give me this, then that's what they get. Plain and simple.
Hey, we had a knockout in the MLB tonight, so shout out to baseball.
Yeah, Jose
incredible sport.
Ramirez and Tim Anderson, and Tim Anderson fought the law and the law won. He set up to fight Ramirez, and Ramirez took him out. All right, getting ready for the restart. Buckingham and Parker White have not pitted. Lawson Peel pitted after the first caution flag. Here we go. Back to green. Green flag. Oh, man, and once again, they do not get going. They are stacking up big on the inside. It was Hawken that did not get rolling. They are 5 wide going to turn number 1. They sort it out mid-pack. Falkingham gone. They're stacking up in the middle line now with Kevin McAdams and Joseph Armstrong, but they make it half a lap at least. Still 3 wide up here with the 099 of Brandon Hawkins.
Gonna have to figure this out. They're 4 wide again, a little further back in the pack. Colt Hooper just made a big move to the outside of Brian Mercurio. And there is not room for this here at Michigan. Gonna be a close call. Jordan Worth gonna have to squeeze between Hooper and Nate Stewart, but they're gonna make it work somehow as they complete a lap here at Michigan.
Back to turn 1. Stuff up at the front has settled down for now. Justin Malillo is 4th. Ryan Naraki is 5th. They're up there based on strategy. 1 car sideways, back of the field. We stay green. That is Nate Stewart that had to avoid a car and about took that thing down to the apron, down the back straightaway, but keeps it pointed in the right direction. And more importantly, we stay green. Here comes Lawson Peel looking for the lead. He has already pitted, but it was only for fuel. He's racing 2 guys that have not stopped yet there on the outside, the 2 Toyotas, Falkingham and Parker White.
And what you're seeing right now is a lot of single file on these straightaways as everybody tries to utilize each other for draft. And then once we get to these corners, it's a big fan-out effect where we see 2, sometimes even 3 wide. Here comes Lawson Peel after that early spin on the inside of Parker White here for the 2nd position.
Really aggressive Lawson Peel has been on this restart.
He might try to go for it.
Yeah, he's tried to pass Parker White a couple of times. He'll do it here. He gets the wall. Hangs onto it, though, and keeps it pointed in the right direction. Doesn't blow up in his face like a SpaceX rocket. Back to turn 1.
Yeah, looking up at this top 5 right now. Shout out to Justin Malillo and Ryan Naraki, both 4th and 5th right now. Naraki especially having a great run so far in this number 26. And he and McAdams have really switched places, it seems. As soon as I say that, he's getting freight trained on the outside. Here comes Lawson Peel down to the inside for the lead, though, on Falkingham, really trying to make this run work.
Not a lot of grip down under that first seam, but he's going to try and make it work. They'll be side by side down the front straightaway. Falkingham will have the draft from most of the field. Here comes Parker White looking to the inside. Peel's kind of pulling him back, and Parker White stays to the outside there to give Falkingham a shot. Peel dives it in and takes the lead.
Can he make it stick? Will Falkingham have the run down here on the inside, trying to make the crossover work? Not quite going to do it. And put Lawson Peel to the lead here. Look at Matthew Zwack trying to make a move for P4 as well. A really racy battle up here inside the top 5.
Here comes Zwack there on that inside. Talked about how he had a nice little finish last week. A little leaning on Malillo there off turn 4. Keeps it clean, 3 wide. Nate Stewart is mad. Oh, trouble! There goes Armstrong off the bumper of Nate Stewart. Caution's out. Oh, back up into traffic! Look out! Everybody gets by. Nate Stewart apologizes, saying he was trying to get back in line and just hooked him, but he was mad that Armstrong came down on him. And Nate Stewart with his wreck score, maybe finding himself in some trouble with the law here. Here's the replay. He just missed the contact initially, and then he tries to get in line and just misjudges it and turns him.
And that's a really unfortunate wreck there. Again, Joseph Armstrong, one of those guys that's been really aggressive on these restarts and was making up some time. And it sounds like Nate Stewart going to have a drive-through penalty to serve there. And again, he came over the radio and apologized immediately. I think it was more just a misjudgment rather than anything else. Even though it looked like Brad Keselowski and Austin Dillon here a few years back.
Yeah, the difference is that Austin Dillon wound up getting turned into the outside wall and about wound up on his head. Just a slide there for Joseph Armstrong. I'm being told that somebody just threw a bucket of sand at a guy at Bowman Gray. Excuse me.
Oh no. We have somebody asking for a Phillies update. We've already had enough.
Pit stops for some. Falkingham will continue to stay out. Parker White decides that he's going to stop, though. And Phillies update. They won. Barely. It's all I never thought I'd say this. It's all thanks to Trey Turner that the Phillies won the game tonight. And we will see them tomorrow, probably at 1 o'clock, and hopefully they will win the series and not crap all over the bed like they did last night. The good news is that if they do blow it, the Eagles come back in a couple of weeks anyway. So
this is true. Football season creeping up on us, and we'll really have fun during the broadcast then.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because I'll be watching a college game on one screen and this on the other. And if Penn State is playing that night, watch out. For example, the night of Darlington here on FTF. Good luck, because Penn State is a primetime game.
Oh, boy.
So if that's a close game, it shouldn't be. It's against West Virginia. If that game is a close game, you're going to have
Virginia,
me on edge. Hold on. Eagles are going to suck this year? What? In what world? I'm talking the Philadelphia Eagles, not like the Georgia Southern Eagles or anything.
Nah, whoever's hating on the Eagles, they don't see the vision. I'm not even an Eagles fan, but I see it.
Picked the wrong bird team. That's going to be bad this year. So,
wow.
Seattle.
Bijan Robinson is. Oh, okay. All right. I thought you were throwing shots at me.
Well,
I was getting ready. I was getting wound up.
Yeah. Is Bijan Robinson going to throw the ball too, and block and catch?
One of the best O-lines in the league. Top 5 set of weapons. We do have a mid quarterback, but this will be addressed when we trade 3 firsts for Lamar Jackson next year. So it's all right. We're good.
You already have Bijan Robinson. You don't need another running back.
Okay, Jalen Hurts.
Ooh. Lions going to win 2 playoff games.
I'd
I
take
could get
that.
behind that. As long as they
that.
don't beat the Eagles, I'd be okay with that.
They're beating
By
the
way,
Eagles
Jalen
in the
Hurts
wild
is
card
great,
round.
Just don't ask him to throw a 50-yard bomb. That's all. If I learned anything from that big game, just don't need him to throw 75 yards in the air.
The
and
worst
we're okay.
Hail Mary attempt in Super Bowl history.
There will be no Aaron Rodgers magic, but Penn State natty champ. I hope so, but I got to be realistic. I'm going to give him another year. I do think, though, that Nick Singleton is an absolute favorite for the Heisman. That he will all but win the darn thing this year. Drew Allen, we'll see what happens. I'm optimistic. But he's also got some competition. But if I learned anything from the Sean Clifford years, they're never going to bench Aller ever in a billion years, even if he's on his deathbed. Green flag. We are halfway through stage number 1. 24 laps are complete. We got through the gears that time. Back to turn number 1. Oh, trouble. Oh, Doucette down in front of Parker White. They saved it somehow. They were 5 wide for a moment, and there was contact, and now there's more contact.
They might not be done.
Boy. Yeah.
Down into 3. Yeah, Parker White right in the middle of this, and you see 4 wide once again. Wyatt Tinsley on the inside. Everybody trying to make this work. There's a stack up ahead with Cosmin Ionescu and Kevin McAdams still trying to figure this thing out as they come off 4. You see this pack of cars 3 by 3.
It is a snarling pack there behind Zwack. Falkingham still leads. They're 3 and 4 wide throughout this pack. Here comes Parker White underneath Ryan Doucette. Still 4 wide off turn 2.
Oh.
Contact. Doucette, can he hang on? No, he can't. Oh, what a save.
Unreal. And Wyatt Tinsley to be able to get around him there.
I can't believe he held on to that thing. I thought for sure he was going to come down and hook Parker White and send off another melee, but we're clean and green for now.
And we're about to do it all again. You see Kevin King underneath Jordan Wirth there, making it 3 wide as well. Kevin King going to slide up just a little bit. Does that open the door for Malik Ray right behind him at all as they come off of turn number 2 now?
Side by side up here at the front of the field. Make it 3 wide. This is for 4th. You've got David L. Brown in the middle. Zwack downstairs. Oh, look out. Pulling up top in the 91. David L. Brown almost leaning on Melillo. And there's contact off turn 4. Oh, boy.
Really close calls still here. And I think you're about to start seeing a lot of people dip out of line here. And here we go once again, a little further back in the back. Lawson Peel and Seth Knoll got side by side for a second. Parker White still right in the middle of this, and he has to be especially careful. We saw what happened last week in New Hampshire when he got caught in the back of his pack.
Down the back, straight away between Zwack and David L. Brown. They were going at each other over the radio a little bit. David L. Brown said that last time by off turn 4, if you work with me, we can get by the Mickey Mouse team guys and maybe take a shot for the lead. And Zwack responded with him and then doored him down the back straight away going into turn number 3. So maybe some beef happening there. I don't understand why everybody's so mad. We're not even 30 laps in.
Yeah, we're having fun, Jacob.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, this is very interesting here from the Mickey Mouse cars with Poole and Melillo Naraki. We see this a lot in the FTF 1 series where they're able to kind of utilize each other's draft and slingshot ahead of the field. They've got something figured out here.
Trouble,
caution flag.
Turn 3 in the wall. Ryan Pandicio.
Misstack as well.
Just when you thought we'd have a green flag run, Pandicio goes around in front of nobody back in 33rd place. And the caution flag is out. Now, why is Malik Ray asking for single file restarts? That was nowhere near the restart. And it was for 33rd. Like,
you'll see on the replay here, this is an interesting wreck, but it's more internet-assisted contact here between Pandicio and McCandless. Look at Paul Mikulajic made it through that.
Yeah. There was Misstack there going up by the outside wall. 4th caution flag of the night. And that angle shows nothing really, but Canlis said it's all on him, and he'll take the lumps and move on. People are still mad at each other, talking about moves that are going to cause wrecks. Everybody stays out here. David L. Brown is still complaining over the radio. Chris Wetzel stop, as well as Kevin King. And oh boy, now we're bringing points into the conversation.
We are not having a good night in the radio chat tonight. It is a very aggressive, upset night, and it reflects on this racetrack. You've seen how many guys get 3 wide, 4 wide even, and when cars start to come together like that.
Oh, somebody just sent me the video of the sand bucket being thrown. Oh my gosh. I will link that in the chat. Oh, that is awesome. Thanks to Flow Racing for tweeting that out. And thanks to John Felber for finding that for me.
That is one of the things that's happened in auto racing for sure right there.
Yeah. That's still better than the weak helmet toss that Austin Dillon had at Pocono 2 weeks ago. For the record, this one actually hit. Like...
Still contention going on in the radio chat right now, so
yeah,
not been its brightest night. I will say, I think the most surprising thing here is that this isn't like guys that are back in like 34th, 35th. Like, this is up inside the top 10 we got beef.
I appreciate Ben for coming over the radio and said, okay, let's stop it, please. And it didn't. Love it. We are choosing this time.
Gotta love old Ben over the comms. Trademark patent. Let's see who picks the inside here, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be a Falkingham Naraki front row here. Going to be interesting out of the Mickey Mouse cars here on this restart with Naraki on the inside. How are they going to get grouped up? I wonder if that means Naraki is planning on falling in line behind Falkingham here, or maybe vice versa. Malolo's going to try to lead this group, going to have to figure it out, but lots of team dynamics to figure out.
For those of you that feel brave enough tonight, well after we are done, the Women's World Cup team, U.S. takes on Sweden. That's bright and early 5 a.m. on the Eastern Seaboard on your local Fox affiliate. And if I make it that long, I may try and catch it. But nonetheless, we are inside 10 to go in stage one. They're stacking up again. Oh boy. Fanning out, 4 wide. We're good. At least turn number one. Falkingham leads. Naraki second, 3 wide for third. Don't look now. Here comes Parker White on that inside line. 3 wide for second.
What an incredible move there by Parker White. Naraki's going to try to fall in line in front of his teammate Kevin McAdams. Brandon Hawken in line as well. Not the greatest restart there from...
Oh, Parker White! Way up the hill.
3 wide still, and look at Hawken going all the way to the grass here on the front straightaway. And again, everybody has to get this figured out. You see right there, that group 4 wide still. Jack Mace up in the wall just a little bit.
This time by, there'll be 6 laps to go in stage number 1.
And they are racing like it right now. 3, 4 wide off this restart. Have to be so careful, but I think they have it figured out for the time being. Look at Parker White, though.
Oh.
Big move there for second. Just somehow slots himself in there.
Oh, and he pulls out to the inside. Here he goes looking for the lead. Falkingham has led every lap thus far. We'll see if he can lead the next time by. Is Parker White looking for his 18th stage win of the year? And he's the leader.
That was a big sin there by Parker White. Can Falkingham somehow try to cross him over? I don't think so. He's going to have the draft advantage, though. He has help from Zwack. Falkingham now delivering a shove to Parker White as they head into 3. Here comes Matthew Zwack down to the inside. He wants to do the same.
Zwack for second. Up the hill. He is clear. Slots in line. Coming to 5 to go in the stage. We're in the buffer zone.
Interesting here. We have, again, that Mickey Mouse group getting formed up on the outside just a little bit. Do they have anything up their sleeve? Naraki, McAdams, Malillo, Poulin all together in a 4-car group. And if they can stick together, they might have a shot, because you see there's a little bit of a gap that's formed from the front end of the 26 of Naraki to the back end of 3rd place, Daniel Falkingham.
Naraki's got company behind him. McAdams up the hill. Here comes Mercurio. Brandon Hawken is there. Justin Malillo is there, trying to get some stage points in that 50 or 053 machine for Malillo. 4 to go in the stage.
Right now, everybody a little content to ride around for the time being, but got to imagine that's going to change within the next 2 or 3 laps here as they encroach closer to the end of stage number 1. Naraki, I don't know if he's holding this group up or what, but this gap is widening.
And they are stacking up behind him, too. Don't look out the mirror, because it's getting busy back there. 3 to go.
Rocky just threw a big block on Kevin there. That's for the 4th position, and you got to be careful doing that because we've already seen you will turn yourself into that inside wall if you're not careful. Brian Mercurio, he's got to be frustrated right now. Good turn 1 and 2 that time. They close that gap up just a little bit. It's really at the end of this end of the racetrack through turns 3 and 4 where they're losing their time right now.
Parker White not necessarily pulling away from Zwack and Falkingham. The draft keeping them pretty close together. We're coming to 2 laps to go here in stage number 1. Parker White looking for his 18th stage win of 2023. Lawson Peel got the wall going into turn number 1, but keeps it pointed in the right direction.
Starting to get really aggressive once again. Wyatt Tinsley going all the way up against the wall. Made it 4 wide for a second, but looks like they'll have it sorted out for the time being. And this draft is so crucial here when you get up to the end of these straightaways. It can be a big speed discrepancy when you're in that draft, almost up to 200 miles per hour.
Trouble.
Oh, caution.
Caution's out.
It's Michael
Turn
Gonzalez.
3, Michael Gonzalez, and that is the stage. Had contact with Michael P. Frisch, and Parker White will pick up his 18th stage win of the season with the 5th caution flag.
Yeah, I understand the call for a caution here. You'll see it on the replay, but I think that might be a little weak of a call there. Frisch gets into the back end here. Gonzalez can't save it, tags the outside wall, and that's where you have to call the caution, I think. You got cars sliding across the racetrack and cars coming full speed, but at the same time, I don't know, he didn't even do a full loop.
Here's Parker White, your stage winner. And everybody's going to be coming to pit road.
And again, this is going to be everyone here. A few guys stay out, I think, but might be more so because they're a lap down rather than actually staying out here.
Jonathan Oshland will stay out. He'll take the lead. Chris Sweats will be second. Ms. Stack will be third. Everybody else in the pit lane getting service. And we'll see where folks come out here. Nate Stewart, fuel only. He will win the race off pit road at the cone. Zwack, Falkingham, White out of the folks that took tires. Ryan Doucette taking 2. McCandless, fuel only. Everybody else taking 4. We'll reset, get your restart. Stage 1 complete. Daniel Falkingham, no. Parker White, your stage 1 winner. We're back after this. Getting ready for the restart. Jonathan Oshlem stayed out. He's your race leader. Chris Wetz also stayed out. He'll be right behind. Nate Stewart took fuel only. He leads the inside line for the restart. Let's see what happens. Pace car is in, getting ready to kick off stage number 2. Well, it's already been kicked off, but kick it off under green. Green flag. We're back to racing. Nate Stewart did not get up through the gears all that well. Oshlem is gone, and they scatter as they head to turn 1.
This is either going to work out or it's going to be really bad, Jacob. Again, Nate Stewart didn't get going. That's going to force everybody else behind him to really get stuck in a bottle, really. And you see Zwack trying to clear Nate Stewart. Really close call. Here comes Parker White, 3 wide down the inside. Here comes Chris Wetz as well with help from the draft.
Chris Wetz looking for the lead. The 2 drivers that stayed out battle it, not for long. There goes Wetz to the front. Here comes Falkingham on the inside, taking over the 2nd spot, and he'll be looking for the lead if Parker White doesn't get there first.
Here comes Daniel Falkingham down to the inside, and it looks like he'll have a shot here. Big shove to Wetz from Oshlem. Don't think it's going to keep the 71 out front, though. Here comes Falkingham, White behind him. Further behind, they're 4 wide up inside the top 10 right now. A little bit of contact between Naraki and Hawken down the backstretch.
And more contact between those 2. Here comes Parker White, 3 wide, looking for the lead on the inside. Let's see how deep he sends it in on the bottom of the racetrack. Wetz gets out of the way, and Parker White will retake the lead.
Just incredible there to somehow make that stick on exit. I don't know how he keeps doing it, but Parker White to the lead once again. Matthew Zwack slots in a line all the way down to the apron. Is Brandon Hawken there underneath Nate Stewart, excuse me. Malik Ray up inside this group as well. Again, really racy right about the cusp of this top 10. Almost trouble in the back. It was Justin Malillo, Ryan Naraki. Malillo really had to get out of the throttle, yeah. And Naraki's still not handling very well.
Oh,
goodness.
Boy. Chaos mid-pack. This is just around the top 20. Botafuco sideways there. Here comes Kevin King. He's just been trying to get himself through the carnage tonight.
Yeah, just absolute chaos around this racetrack right now. Anything in store here? Nate Stewart really had to get out of the throttle again. That's going to stack up Poole and Naraki. Malillo, all teammates right here. A little bit extra grievance for them, but Nate Stewart, after gambling with the fuel-only strategy, really has not worked out here. Is right now sitting right about 15th position.
Wentz and Oshlem here just kind of sliding back through the field slowly but surely. Still inside the top 10, but they continue to just get freight trained now by folks up on the outside of the racetrack. Now that things have calmed down for the moment at the front of the pack. Kevin King and Botafuco about had a moment there coming off turn number 4. It's contact with Jack Mace and Kevin King, and a great save by King off turn 4. That was about another pileup.
And again, starting to get racy once again. Jonathan Oshlem had to bail, get up in that outside lane. Brandon Hawken really had to get out of the throttle, and I think it was more so just this group of cars trying to run where the 11 and 71 are not, because as soon as they get up in that outside lane, everybody else moves back down to the inside, really trying to cycle this group out, the ones that are on fresh tires.
Chris Wetz on the outside, Hawken on the inside. That's for 10th. And the Nexus driver will take that spot away maybe at this end of the racetrack coming to turn 3. As everybody has gotten single file now throughout the pack.
Things have really started to calm down, have a few slight instances of side-by-side racing. First one I see, Blake Reynolds on Jordan Worth, and even that was him just getting loose out of turn number 4. He slots back in line, starting to fan out. Not quite to the effect we were seeing earlier, but still double file racing. David L. Brown to the outside of Jordan Worth here. And Spalding
Still
really
side
holding
by
his own.
side. Yep. Here comes David L. Brown to the outside.
Jordan Worth really sending it in here on entry, and I mean, maybe trying to copy Parker White here from what we've seen out of that 011 machine this weekend, where at mid-corner, if you can get that car to stick, then, I mean, you're able to get back in the throttle and just drive away and not really have the door open for any sort of crossover move, which typically is what you expect.
How about Blake Bryant up inside the top 10, running a 9th?
Yeah, really good run.
07 machine.
And Blake Bryant, regular here at FTF, hasn't exactly had the greatest runs. I mean, last week, the doubleheader, 41st, 42nd, as you see, blinked out a little bit, but it's all right. Again, running inside the top 10 right now. Last top 10 finish for Blake Bryant was all the way back at Richmond earlier this year. And again, that was almost back in April.
Been a long time since Blake Bryant has had a good run. He's finished outside the top 40 in the last 2 races at New Hampshire and at Pocono.
Look at this up a little further up. Really been impressed by Lawson Peel's speed as well here tonight. Tried to make a move there on Matthew Zwack, and to go all the way down to the infield grass. Not sure he wants to do that, because if you're not careful, you will get freight trained. And again, Doucette coming with a big run, about a 5-mile-per-hour difference at the end of the front stretch there. And now it's going to open the door for the 077. Again, the Barr Visuals FTF 500 winner. Has 2 wins on the season, just hasn't made enough starts to be eligible for the playoffs. So at this point in the season, just running and trying to win these things for Ryan Doucette. As you see, he's down to the inside, trying to get that 4th position away from Lawson Peel. They're side by side, as maybe this gives an opportunity for the top 3 to pull away ahead of them.
And there's still the chance that Ryan Doucette can point his way into the playoffs, but it would take a lot of help. Mostly, he would need to win a lot in these final 6 races to have a shot. But, you know, it's not impossible, but he needs to pick up a ton of points against guys like Ryan Araki, David O. Brown, Chris Wetz. Now, Dylan Basin is not here again tonight, but Basin only needs 1 more start to lock himself in with the win that he has. So, really, he's got to get to around that Knoll and Wetz area, which is, again, some 600 points up the road. It's not impossible, but Doucette's going to have to make every start from now to the end of the season, and he's going to have to, more than likely, not only get a top 5 in each race, but also get a hefty amount of stage points in each race to have a shot.
Yeah, stage points, wins, you name it, and even then it is maybe not a long shot in that case, but an uphill battle at the very least. You see Wyatt Tinsley pulling down to the inside. Doable, but maybe not feasible for Ryan Doucette. And again, he is just trying to get all he can right now. And if he puts himself in that position, then maybe that's a different story. But
on board
solid
with that
run.
77.
And sitting 6th right now. And again, he's right in this Hornets pack. Wyatt Tinsley right in front of him. He's got Malik Ray, Brian Mercurio all around him. You see Lawson Peel a little further up the road, trying to make a move on Zwack for P3 here. And again, there's been lots of speed out of this SpaceX machine. Almost a little bit of contact there for third. Momentarily, Peel's going to drop back into line and try to regroup.
That got dicey. Almost halfway through stage 2, though, about 3 laps away when they get the start-finish line from the halfway marker in this second stage.
And again, Lawson Peel, only 2 top 10s this whole season, and you have to go even further back to find his. Most recently at Atlanta, 7th place finish, and then a 7th place finish at Las Vegas as well. So no top 5s, and right now sitting right up there with, again, some of your key race contenders and championship contenders as well. A great run for this number 12 if he can continue to pick off cars here.
There goes Mercurio, so he'll pick up that 7th spot. Trying to chase down the 007 of Malik Ray. 12-car breakaway single file. Then another single car pack that is led by Jordan Worth. He's in 13th.
And to illustrate this a little better for you, the first, call it 10 cars, and now even further back as Blake Bryant has sat back in line a little bit. I mean, a lot of these guys on the straightaways really content to go single file. And then, as you said, Jordan Worth in this leading this second pack of sorts. And again, right now you just see a lot of riding around at this point. Lawson Peel kind of the only guy that's really trying to test that out at the moment. Gotta wonder if we're just trying to nurse this thing to the end of stage number 2.
Well, it depends on who you're at, who you are, and where your tires are at. Because remember, Doucette, he's on 2 tires. That's why we're starting to see him slide back through the field a little bit. Everybody else is on 4, at least up inside the top 20. So tires not necessarily an issue for everybody else, but for car 77 right now, he's got to keep an eye on that, and I think that's why we're starting to see him slide back. By the way, Michael P. Frisch has parked the car for the night. Not a good night for one Michael P. Frisch. He will finish 41st.
And again, didn't have the greatest runs last week in the doubleheader. Picked up a good top 10 at New Hampshire, but then 17th at Pocono, and that was on the tail end of the few last lap wrecks that he found himself involved in, and not what you want to see. Good thing for him is we got a playoff reset coming, and he should be in the show.
Well, and he has been consistent all season long. His worst finish was 31st back at Daytona. He only had, okay. He had been doing well for a while there. Daytona was his worst finish. Yeah, Nashville 36th, Chicagoland 37th, back into the top 10 column at New Hampshire. Rough night at Pocono, finished 17th. This is his worst finish of the year, though, 41st. His first finish outside the top 40.
Oh! Almost a close call there. Lawson Peel tried to clear himself on the nose of Malik Ray. Malik Ray was not having it. Lawson Peel going to have to find a new spot in line. Can he stay down to the inside of Zwack here? As Zwack has a gap built up now to Wyatt Tinsley. No. Really close call there on the backstretch. Here comes Malik Ray trying to make some noise up inside the top 5 as you start to see, I believe that's Oshlin.
Yep. I remember he did not stop at the caution right before the stage. Chris Wett's in the same boat. Battle for second as here comes Wyatt Tinsley in the 20.
Tinsley's had a quiet night so far, but starting to get up here as we near the end of this stage. Can he make noise here for the lead? It's really been Parker White's game. Daniel Falkingham had himself a fair stint, but after Parker White got back out front, it really hasn't been close.
We haven't heard much from Wyatt Tinsley down the stretch here. Kind of fallen off a little bit. Missed Nashville, missed New Hampshire. 30th back at Charlotte. Missed Road America. 33rd at Gateway. Since that Chicago stretch, though, he's been able to turn it around a little bit. 11th there at the street course, 3rd at Chicagoland, 10th on Sunday at Pocono after he was at the Richmond race. Picked up his early win in Atlanta. Pair of second-place finishes, one at Las Vegas, one at Talladega, and that 3rd at Chicago. But for Tinsley, things have kind of slowed down a bit. Trying to turn it around and maybe get himself a second win on 2023 and help propel the runner-up from the championship a season ago into a better spot as we get closer to the playoffs. Give him some more momentum.
And again, we know he hasn't been exactly happy with his performance down the stretch here. And no better time to start to get hot once again than approaching the start of the playoffs here. See this battle a little further back. Blake Reynolds and Ryan Doucette side by side. And Doucette, as you mentioned, on those 2 tires, starting to feel the effects of that just a little more. Lawson Peel's fallen back a little bit after he got caught on the inside lane. Whoa, and Zwack really had to get out of the throttle right there. Oh, and almost a little bit of contact between he and Peel. They both went for the same spot. Zwack was trying to get out of the way, and Peel was trying not to run into him.
Well, Zwack was trying to get in line. Peel was trying to get by him. Peel will benefit. He gets by. And Zwack just continues to tumble backward there on an outside line.
Got to be so careful here. Across the stripe for lap 66. Again, the end of stage 2 on lap 80. So, I mean, we are right in that buffer zone. About 12 laps.
Well, we're not in the buffer zone, to be fair.
I forget that's an actual term.
Yep. Jordan Worth is on the pit lane, by the way. Just made a stop. Here comes Peel to the inside of Blake Reynolds. He'll get by him. Here comes Oshalim as well. Caution is out.
On the race.
Buttafuoco is around. In turn 3. Contact with Jack Mace. And the caution flag is out, and Mace says, you tried to block and I was at your wheel.
Yeah, Jack Mace had been on the radio before this and was not very pleased.
That angle really doesn't help us a lot. Maybe we get one high above.
Yeah, we got a chopper cam, perhaps.
Bird's eye view. Pure Wolf, okay.
We tried at least.
I think that's on Daniel there. He just turns left.
Yeah, and there is a little net code there, but they would have converged paths eventually, and Jack Mace correct on that one. Is Buttafuoco, I think, just spun himself there.
All right.
We got some
Zach Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. Fox Zoom. There we go. Let's have a look.
And
that doesn't help us a ton either, but I'm glad we put the work in. And hard hit there for Buttafuoco.
Can't say he didn't try.
That's his second wreck of the night. Pace car still on the racetrack. Pits are busy, though. We've got a restart inside 10 laps to go. And I'd have to think foreign fuel here would be the call. Jordan Worth stays out. Remember, he stopped right before the caution came out. Devin Mistack also stays out on the racetrack. I'm hoping that he pits next time by, as he's on some 28-lap-old tires.
I don't know here. This is going to shake things up for sure. Look at this battle.
Tight race off pit road. I think... I don't know who got it. If it's the white line, it's Falkingham, Parker White, Tinsley. If it's the green cone, I have no idea. It is that close. So far, it looks like Falkingham, Tinsley, Parker White.
And that was a close call, and again, we'll get the rest of this starting lineup sorted out here shortly enough. Nick Miller right now, a little bit of contention over where he belongs. I think he's trying to get the wave.
And Stack says he's pitting, so.
It's a good call. Should put Jordan Worth as our leader.
Will.
And he'll have a hungry pack behind him again coming towards the end of this stage. We are just about to cross halfway here at Michigan, and I don't know. I think Jordan Worth would be a lot happier if a few other guys stayed out with him, but again, he's got this group of Toyotas who have really been up front. Between Falkingham, Tinsley, Parker White, Malik Ray is going to make some noise for sure up here. Mercurio as well.
See what happens here. We'll have 10 to go in the restart in stage 2. What's the worst that could happen?
Again, Jacob, I think this is either going to be really good or really bad. Here for Jordan Worth.
Can we get a Jordan Worth interview? Well, Jordan Worth would have to be in the Discord first. Green flag. 10 to go. Stage 2 from Michigan. Jordan Worth is gone.
And we'll see how long that stays, though. Daniel Falkingham with a big send down to the inside on these newer tires. Wyatt Tinsley right here as well, and they are going to freight train, I think, Jordan Worth sometime soon. Tinsley with a big bump to the back end of the 97, and now Tinsley going to dip out of line. Challenge for the lead here in turn number 3.
Worth hanging tough up on the outside. Here comes Wyatt Tinsley, though, on the bottom. Looking for the lead, but he can't get there, and he'll have to tuck back in line. That could allow Falkingham to open up the door. He stays in line, though, back to turn 1.
And not seeing that same fan-out effect that we've been seeing on a few other restarts right now. And again, Jordan Worth, if he can just hold on here, going to be in really good spot. However, Tinsley coming with a run. Does he take this down to the inside? No. At least not yet. He'll stick in line again towards 3. Does that open the door maybe for Falkingham at some point?
Well, you got to remember, Worth is not on ancient tires compared to everybody else. In fact, he doesn't have a lap under green compared to everybody else on these tires. The caution came out right after he got off pit road. So even though his tires are literally a lap or two older, they don't have that much wear on them. And that's why he's able to hold everybody at bay. Here comes Brandon Hawkins to the outside of Parker White there through turns 1 and 2.
Hawkins a big move there, and he is trying to make some noise up inside the top 3 for the first time today. Here comes Wyatt Tinsley, going to be sending it down on the inside. Can Worth use that arc just a little higher? And I think he'll be able to stave off this run for the time being. Does Falkingham go with Tinsley, or does he make it 3 wide? Looks like he's going to go with the 20 machine.
Peeking to the inside. No, he jumps back to the outside now. We'll see if Tinsley can get clear going into turn number 1. He will. Will Worth cross him over? No. New leader Wyatt Tinsley.
And again, we haven't seen much of that crossover like you'd anticipate. Whenever these cars are able to, again, stick and get the car to rotate in the middle of the corner, it's really over from there. And that's why we've been able to see some success out of these big sends on entry where normally you wouldn't quite see that.
Coming to 6 to go.
And this
here in stage number 2
isn't over by any means for Jordan Worth as well. He's going to be able to use this draft, like you mentioned, not on super old tires here. And again, I think if he's able to utilize this draft and peek out a line at the right time, rather, he's going to be in good shape as we approach this stage 2 end. But just
Trouble pulling down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3. He's in the grass. We stay green. Michael Gonzalez and Poulin got together, it looks like. Caution's out now. What? That was for the spin, I think.
That was
With 5 to go on the stage. I am lost right now.
I don't know if that'll end the stage, but if that caution was for that spin.
But not the end of the stage. Off the racing. I don't know about that one, folks.
That's a rare L for race control there.
Yeah.
In Benjamin Easterday, and yeah, not sure about that. Good thing this isn't the end of the stage here, but complicates things up here for the stage win. However, I mean, Jordan Worth gonna have significantly less time to work with here. Gonna have to get a good restart, get up to speed, and this is going to open the door for a lot more folks as we're going to get a restart here very close to the end of the stage. Does everybody come in again? No, looks like Tinsley's going to get left out.
So Tinsley perhaps thinking end of race, not necessarily stage win. So Jordan Worth will retake the lead under this caution. Pits will close here after everybody gets a chance, and then we will get 1 to green, and then we will go at it. We'll have a 1-lap dash. No, we'll have a 2-lap dash. I was told that we were going to have only 1 lap, but no, we are going to have 2 here because the lights are out on the pace car.
Again, this is going to be difficult for Jordan Worth, but he just proved that he was going to be able to hold off a lot of these guys behind him, and outside again for Worth. I think that's a good call. Either way, this should be fun. Going to be Worth Hawken on the front row. Falkingham and Parker White, obviously, with tons of speed so far today. Maybe even a little bit of noise could be made from Brian Mercurio and Blake Reynolds. Just going to have to wait and see here on this restart.
Here we go. 2 laps in stage 2. Let's see what happens. Worth on the outside. Hawken on the inside. Green flag.
Worth again, a fantastic launch going into 1, officially now in the buffer zone for Benjamin Easterday, and Falkingham, Hawken, White going to make it 3 wide down into turn number 1. This is going to be interesting how they make this work. I don't know if White quite has the traction there. No.
The back straight. Oh, man, Parker White just snuck in line. Lawson Peel jumps out of line now. How about Kevin King? He's cracked the top 10 for the first time tonight. Oh, Falkingham gets tagged by Hawken. They save it coming to the last lap in stage 2. They are 4 wide inside the top 10. Last lap of the stage.
And this is where that aggression factor comes into play. As you mentioned, Kevin King, they're going to get it figured out for the time being. Lawson Peel trying to get some valuable stage points here. Brian Mercurio now to his outside. Can Parker White do anything here? A little further up the pack, though. Jordan Worth running away with it.
Going to take a send of all sins as they make their way to turn number 3. Through 3 and 4. For the first time in 2023, Jordan Worth is going to pick up a stage win. He wins stage 2 at Michigan. 60 laps to go.
How about Lawson Peel up inside the top 3? It took a big send from him to get to the inside of Mercurio. Did just that. Got a top 3. Mercurio, Reynolds, Parker White. Matthews,
trouble!
Kevin King.
Hawken! Off of Kevin King, down to the inside wall goes the 99. Oh, he's hang on to it somehow. They're going to be 3 wide still into turn number 3. Hawken down there with Kevin King. They're 4 wide. We stay green. And they all save it.
Yeah, fantastic save there from Hawken. They have a little bit of ground to make up, but a lot better than that could have been. And starting to see a few guys using some alternate lanes here. Kevin McAdams just had a huge send down to the inside of Spalding and Knoll to break into the top 10. Look at this for the lead. Here comes Lawson Peel. Does he have anything for Jordan Worth? Going to try to clear himself in front of Falkingham. Doesn't have that spot. Going to have to hold strong here on the inside. He's going to have to be careful because this is how he got cycled out last time.
Pops up into line there in 4th. Blake Reynolds to the back bumper. Now he looks to the inside. He about gets run over by Parker White. He'll send it in on both of them.
That was a close call. Parker White almost makes contact with Lawson Peel there. Just barely keeps it off of him. And now Parker White's going to have to regroup as well. Going into turn number 3. Really starting to see a stack-up effect. You see to the back end of Lawson Peel. Here comes Parker White once again down to the inside. And just again can't get that runoff exit that he needs.
Parker White continues to struggle. Trouble, Paul Mikolajczyk mowing the grass down the front straightaway. He hangs on to it, though, and we stay green after he got sent down there by Michael Gonzalez. That's been the common theme so far tonight.
Again, look at Parker White still trying to make this move work. Keeps trying it over and over. If he can get somebody to draft with him on the straightaways, I think he'll be okay. But right now just does not have that. Everybody else staying in line. Zwack going to slap the wall for some apparent reason.
Down the back straightaway, you see Doucette side by side with Parker White. This is for 6th.
Further communication going on in the back right now.
Yeah,
they
I
were
was about
4
to say
wide.
they're 4 wide.
Oh, and a little bit of contact with
Rabideau.
Rabideau. We're okay. We're okay. We made it. For a split second, we did at least. A few of those guys, again, were getting chippy with each other. Wyatt Tinsley, one of them trying to work his way back up here. Just pitted, lost a lot of spots.
Here comes Lawson Peel. This is for 2nd. Down the inside of the racetrack. Doesn't have a lot of help down there, though, and he's going to lose a lot of spots because he's not going to fit up in front of Reynolds or Doucette. Oh, no, he will, but here comes Doucette to the bottom.
Parker White, again, trying to use this to his advantage as they get side by side ahead of him. Does he use this toe from Doucette? Doucette's going to try to clear himself in front of Lawson. Peel, force Peel to get out of the throttle. Big slide out of Parker White off 2. Parker White going to drop in line. Does he get a bump from Zwack? not probably the one he wanted, as he'll try to get down to the inside again. Good block from Lawson Peel, though. Parker White going to deliver a shove in the middle of the corner, get the back end of that car a little bit sideways, but we stay in current formation right now. Subject to change, though, here in the next few laps, because they are trying.
Have to think it may be a one-stopper from here to the end, but they're pretty much going to have to split the rest of this in half, pit within about the next 10 or 15 laps, and then go the remainder to the end of the race. Right now, though, Jordan Worth is out in front. Daniel Falkingham is second. Brian Mercurio third. Blake Reynolds is fourth, and Ryan Doucette is fifth. Side by side there between Lawson Peel and Matthew Zwack. That's for the 7th spot.
Oh, and Zwack down on the inside, trying to make it stick. Super close call once again, and it's been this group of Lawson Peel, Matthew Zwack, Parker White. McAdams is there. Kevin McAdams right now running inside the top 10. Good run for McAdams as he's past Matthew Zwack there, now trying to pick off Lawson Peel as well and break his way into this front group. Mercurio as well, sitting up inside the top 3. Again, we talked about how he hasn't had the most stellar of runs down the stretch here. Look at this group all together, 3 wide. Kevin King down on the inside.
McAdams there as well. We are at 50 laps to go here from Michigan.
Look at this. All of a sudden, about to, or at least trying right now to break his way back into the top 10. If it wasn't for a great shove from McAdams to Noel.
Trouble. Into turn number 3. Nick Miller, Jake Poulin, Lucas Plessel, cautions out. And it is contact.
Yeah, this is interesting.
It looks like between Poulin and Nick Miller. Nick Miller, by the way, is 5 laps down. And you'll see the replay here down the back straightaway. He just gets flat out hooked. Poulin comes up the racetrack, and round goes to 19 and nowhere for Plessel to go back up the racetrack.
Yeah, and I don't know what quite was going on there with Jake Poulin. I mean, you'll see right here, I don't know if he's trying to fall in line.
Poulin said he doesn't care because you were annoying the hell out of me being 9 laps down. So that's league admin. Woof. Woof.
Yeah, we're getting chippy once again in the voice chat. 49 laps to go. Everybody going to come down here and pit. Gotta think, are they going to be able to perhaps stretch it, maybe with a few help from some cautions?
Pit stops. David L. Brown stays out. Everybody else to pit road. Falkingham overshot his box and just had to back up. Cosman missed his box, so he'll have to come back in again. Race off pit road belongs to Joseph Armstrong on 2 tires. He wins the race off pit road. We're going to step aside and try not to drink ourselves to death here in the break. David L. Brown, currently your leader at Michigan. There's still 48 laps to go. God help us. We're back after this. Back from Michigan. 46 laps to go on the restart. David L. Brown stayed out. Joseph Armstrong came back onto pit road, by the way, after taking just 2 tires. So everybody behind David L. Brown is on 4 freshies. Pace car is in. Green flag. Here comes Falkingham for the lead. Got it. New leader, Daniel Falkingham, back to the front. Here at Michigan, trouble! There goes Spalding around off Nate Stewart. Caution. And this will be part of the restart here. Nate Stewart says his steering wheel was straight. We'll get a replay and find out. I am inclined to believe here that the 4 is not the problem in this case. I think you could kind of see it on that replay too. He didn't move until the 54 came down on him. And they will give that to Matt Spalding, the cause. Yeah.
And that's interesting once again.
Oh my God!
Yeah, good little bounce. See, I know we've become rather familiar with him over the last few weeks, but why don't we talk real fast? Daniel Falkingham. And, Daniel, right now holding the lead, and you've had speed in that 054 machine. Any keys that you've picked up on how to keep it up there?
Well, just like last week, it's just all out draft and just putting yourself in the right places. And I think we've done that the whole night. Wish we could have snuck a playoff point off of one of the stage wins, but I think we've got a lot of points tonight. And we're up here at the right time when it's going to be crunch time here pretty soon. So if we can keep doing that, we'll be in good shape. Hopefully, we can win this thing.
44 laps to go. Everybody just came down after that last caution. Do you anticipate any fuel shenanigans being a part of this finish? Or
I don't know. I really hope not, but I know we can't go all the way if this goes green, so we are going to have to pit one more time. But definitely if we get enough laps and then we're within the fuel window, I wouldn't be surprised there when you're going to see who's going to pit. Or unless someone might pull some crazy fuel strategy like Barr did last week and somehow make it on gas. So interested to see what's going to happen here, but hopefully it just falls in our favor.
Well, we'll let you go and figure out your game plan here. Thanks for taking the time with us, Falkingham, and hopefully you can pick yourself up a win here.
All right, thank you very much.
Justin Malillo is pleading with the drivers to keep their cool here for these final 44 laps.
And it has been a night for sure, but get it figured out sooner or later. Thought it was interesting there from Falkingham. He mentioned that if they go green, they're going to need to stop. However, we have seen that we have not gotten many super long green flag runs, at least not to fit in a whole fuel cycle. So maybe we see some fuel shenanigans there in terms of can anybody utilize these cautions to save and just kind of nurse it to the end. We'll find out as they come to the choose cone. How about this with Falkingham on the inside, David L. Brown on the outside, Jordan Worth, Blake Reynolds, Brian Mercurio, your top 5. Ryan Doucette's had a great night. Parker White's been solidly inside the top 10. Lawson Peel as well. Kevin McAdams, Wyatt Tinsley. All of those players for this race win, and all in the middle of the thick of it. We come to the restart.
Falkingham and David L. Brown still in the front row for the restart, coming to 42 laps to go. And you heard what Falkingham said. They're under the caution. They got to pit one more time. Back to green. Another stack up there on the restart. That started all the way from the front. They scatter 4 wide, headed to turn number 1. Let's see if they make it.
Let's hope that they do. Buttafuoco, big move as you saw with the 4 wide. Nate Stewart has to lift, get out of the throttle, loses the front end of that car momentarily. David L. Brown has an anchor attached to the back of this race car. He's all the way outside of the top 10, maybe even the top 15 as they go into turn number 3. Still 3 and 4 wide.
David L. Brown stuck in the middle right now. We're going to have to make it around one more lap before we even think about turning off the whole restart single file deal. Not going to help with a slower car right in the middle of the racetrack, but he's got nowhere else to go. They're 4 wide behind him. They're 3 wide in front of him. They got to make it one more time, at least.
Still 4 wide. This main
group.
Oh,
there goes
Oshland's going to get turned. Oh,
and he's up the hill into Gonzalez. Another car round. Rabideau, Mikolajczyk missed it. And we're single file the rest of the way.
Well, yeah, look at this race just changed a ton. When I tell you the leader's going to have such a huge advantage right now, Falkingham over Parker White. You see, this is the wreck there with Oshland. A little bit of contact, I think, from Malik Ray behind, and then they just cannot collect it when they're 3-4 wide like that. Oshland goes around.
All stemmed from David L. Brown. No doubt. because Ashlam came over the radio and said, what am I supposed to do? They're 5 wide behind me. I lift because the guy in front of me lifts. I can only do so much. That's... And I get where we're at in the race, but at the same time, you're on 15-lap older tires. Maybe you just decide, you know what? It's time to go to the back of the field and not cause chaos. But, I guess not. We can go single file the rest of the way, and Daniel Falkingham can win this race by 6 car lengths, and David L. Brown can finish 30th because he can't get back up through the field, and that's the way things go. Have a restart inside, 40 laps to go. Some folks are pitting. They're pitting mid-pack, back outside the top 15. So.
And again, this is so interesting because we heard that, again, they cannot make it if this goes green. And, of course, this caution is going to help in terms of burning fuel. But track position just became so much more important that if you are a Daniel Falkingham or a Parker White, Jordan Worth up here in this top 5, then, I mean, what are you to do? You can't risk all that track position, but you're also not going to be able to make it to the end here. So you have to hope if you come down that everybody else comes down with you. However, if you're a Parker White or a Jordan Worth, you know that if Falkingham or the guy in front of you, whoever that may be, pits, that you're going to be at an advantage if you stay out. So this is all of a sudden become a chess match for sure because of this rule going into effect. But either way, again, the advantage here for Daniel Falkingham is you just can't emphasize it enough here. When you have sole control over these restarts and you're able to use some trickery to stack up the field behind you, I mean, again, it is such an advantage to be in control of these restarts now that you don't have somebody right next to you. But
one lap to green. And there is no choose because we're single file the rest of the way for these final 38 laps. So that could really blow up strategy here. We'll see if somebody screws up the restarts, that could make things interesting as well.
And
do you think if they wreck again here, we can go triple wide on restarts and that might fix the problem?
Yeah. Yeah, if they wreck 2 more times, we'll do the World of Outlaws style start, and we'll go 5 wide.
Yeah. I don't see the issue.
Well, we're gonna wreck them anyways, so it's all right. We'll figure it out.
Right. Either gonna wreck them, double wide, or they're gonna wreck them single wide, trying to catch each other and pass each other. But yeah, all right, here we go.
And the war on single file restarts continues here. The thing I'm concerned about is towards the back of the field, if there are any restart games up at the front, that will check up an accordion effect throughout the field and could result in potentially even more wrecks. So something to monitor here. We'll have to see, though, as Falkingham's going to have sole control over it now.
And Easterday comes over the radio and says, be smart. Like the drivers had listened to that call these first 103 laps. Here we go. Falkingham, single file, leads us down. Green flag.
Again, not seeing much checkup. Kevin King was one that, instead of opting to get out of the throttle, sent it down to the inside. Falkingham, almost a quarter of a second lead here. Does Parker White have anything in the tank? I think they're going to have to rely on this draft. Few moves being made a little further back. Doucette dips out of line. Lawson Peel coming with the run as well.
Doucette trying to get in a spot, but he doesn't have any help down in the bottom of the racetrack. And he's just going to get freight trained up on the outside of the racetrack. These things turn into slot cars. Got one sideways. McCandless holds on to it. That was dicey back there, but they keep it straight.
And slot cars is about as good as a term as you're going to get here. I mean, these things, once they get single file out, I mean, you've seen with the single file racing we've seen today, it is just way more beneficial to sit in line and try to go side by side with each other on these straightaways. And Parker White doing a good job staying with Falkingham here, but throughout the field right now, not seeing a lot.
Malik Ray to the inside of Cole. I know who you are. Cole Hooper in the 59. You're right on board. This is with Reynolds.
Just tag the wall a little bit. And now you see the front end of that 66 machine. Dipping to the inside a little, was thinking about it at least on Jordan Worth here. Now going to sit in line, and both of them going to have to use that draft and a little help from Mercurio from behind to try to get back up to Parker White and Daniel Falkingham, because right now they have not a very big bubble, but just enough. Oh, Jordan Worth had to get out of the throttle there a little bit. Blake Reynolds now all over the back bumper of that 97 machine. First side-by-side battle, for anybody wondering, is Malik Ray and Nate Stewart right now. Battle for 15th. Everybody else content with sitting in line.
Because you can't pass. Figured you don't want to bury the lead there or anything. Gray's still stuck side by side, and he doesn't have any help down on the bottom of the racetrack, so it's a battle he just won't win. You see side by side just up the road with Tinsley. He gets by McAdams. I think McAdams lifted there for him to get him down to the bottom. Comes Lawson Peel to the inside as well, trying to pick up some spots inside the top 10.
And again, he was trying to send it on entry, and it's what we've seen has worked so far here today. It's just this 41, 66, 97, they were so close together that there was no room to complete the slide job and pull up in front of the cars ahead of him. So now he has had to get out of the throttle and has lost time. And we sit single file.
So we talked about them not being able to make it to the end on fuel. My question to you, Caleb, is if they save, can they make it? And if so, is Daniel Falkingham in a position right now where you don't want to lead? You'd rather be drafting off of cars in front of you, but you can't really do that because if you give up the lead, you're going to fall backward pretty fast.
Absolutely. It's such a tough spot to be in because right now Parker White, you see him, does not want to get out of line at all, and these cautions have certainly helped that, and you're not burning as much fuel as you would under green. So I think we've had just the right amount of cautions here to where it's going to be feasible for a few of these guys who are in the draft to make it to the end. And again, if green, white checkers come into play, which let's face it, they probably will, gets a little complicated there because you might have to pit there and give up a lot of track positions, which we have learned on this green flag stint since we've switched to the single file restarts is going to be so important for the rest of the day. I think, though, if you are someone like Parker White, Jordan Worth, Blake Reynolds, Brian Mercurio, you're at an advantage here for sure by being in that draft because, again, you're using less of that fuel right now. Just a tough game if you're Falkingham right now. I think you would rather be out front, though, because you're just going to have to hope that everybody else is going to have to pit with you at some point.
Side, 30 laps to go. White Tinsley looking to the inside of Ryan Doucette. This is for 7th. Comes Lawson Peel again, just up the road, trying to get by Mercurio, but there's no room at the end. He's going to have to fall back in line again.
And no avail, going to back him up to the back end of the 77 at Doucette. See a little bit of side-by-side. Kevin King trying to get to the inside of Kevin McAdams. But again, I'm gonna be honest here. I don't know what these leaders are gonna do here, because inside the top 5, top 10, I'm not sure I've seen a single pass been made since this restart. Nope. Just at what a premium that track position has come because of these cautions.
Not a damn one. In fact, Malik Ray, I think, is the only guy that's been able to pass anybody. He's up to 13th. He was back outside the top 15 at one point. But other than that, nobody else has been able to get by anybody here.
I think it's difficult as well because the big passing zone is on the entry to corners. You see one car dipping out of line here. Thinking about 3 wide, Seth Knoll all the way down to the inside. The only issue is that these cars are so tightly packed together from being in the draft, as you see with Seth Knoll right there, is there's no place to slide up. So your only passing zone has effectively been neutralized just because this draft is so strong at the moment that you can't slide up to actually complete a pass. You can get side by side, but completing it is almost impossible, as you're going to see once again here with Wyatt Tinsley and Ryan Doucette. Doucette, Kevin King, I mean, they just freight trained Tinsley here, and whoa, big move there from Tinsley trying to get back up in line. Again, you'll see the same thing with Kevin King as Tinsley tries to make the outside lane work here.
Too wide.
Oh, and Doucette.
Oh, man. Really loose. There's a pass inside the top 10.
And I think, that's
takes it away.
Innovative thinking from Wyatt Tinsley there. If the outside lane and that draft is going to be so important, then put yourself in a position on corner exit where you're going to be in position to get that draft rather than, again, just trying on this inside over and over. I don't know if he's going to be able to get here on Lawson Peel. No, he's going to dip back in line. If he can make that outside lane work, then that might be the answer key in these last 25 laps or so. We'll go on board with Tinsley here. You see Lawson Peel trying to use this outside. Again, Tinsley going to get to that inside. Not going to matter, though, because he is just not even close. And Peel's going to get picked up by Mercurio here.
24 laps to go. Daniel Falkingham has easily led the most laps tonight. Trying to pick up his first win and lock himself into the playoffs. But we do know that they're likely going to have to make one more stop to make it to the end. And at this point, it's a waiting game to see when these guys pull the trigger. Trouble. Mikolajczyk and Logan Helton. Caution's out with 24 laps to go, and that was Logan Helton. Just loose, it looks like. And, God, I cannot express enough how much I hate the fact that single foul restarts prevent cautions from happening back to back to back. I'll say that, and we'll tear 20 cars up on the restart, but here's the replay. By the way, I thought Fresh parked it, but you see him there on the outside of on the track. And there's what happened. So we are under our I lost track caution. We'll have a restart with 20 to go.
And this caution is going to be a big break. You see Logan Helton there off the pace. But again, we were talking about that potential fuel strategy. And with that caution, it's all going to go out the window here. You think you're going to see everybody come down here just to be good to the end.
Pit road. Very busy place. Everybody to the pit lane.
Oh, Helton. Got to be careful here. Got to get a good run.
Doucette, 2 tires. Same with Kevin King. They're your top 2 on the restart. 4 tires from 3rd on back. David L. Brown takes 2. Spalding fuel only.
And that is the kind of gambling that will win you races, I think. I mean, Doucette, Kevin King, if they can stick together here, they're going to be in good shape. We've seen older tires have been able to stave off some runs. And now the 2 tire call, Doucette and Kevin King are going to have to hope can hold them out front for the last 22 laps of this thing.
Strategery.
Hey, I mean, that is a perfect call from these 2. Again, we've talked about how valuable being that control car is. I mean, they have a chance here with, again, the premium that passing has become inside the top 5, top 10, really around the field. It is going to be a difficult battle here for Falkingham if he wants to pick up his first win on the season. Even more difficult for anyone further back. Parker White, Jordan Worth, Blake Reynolds, Brian Mercurio, David L. Brown all in this mix.
Logan Helton has parked the car. He is done for the night. Coming up on FTF, I have no idea. Core's done.
Got a
Winstell's probably tomorrow somewhere.
tomorrow night.
That the IR01 or whatever the hell it is, open wheel thing. That's Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. We're back a week from tonight at Indy Road Course. Then a week from tomorrow, we're at Indy Oval. It's another FTF doubleheader weekend. I think that's it. Road to Pros off for the week. We'll see them next week at God knows where, Super Speedway.
Right here.
Oh. Okay, interesting. Okay. I guess that makes sense, kind of, sort of, not really. All right. Pace car is in. Ryan Doucette is your race leader. 20 to go on the restart.
Oh,
Green
look
flag.
at this checkup. Kevin King on the restart did not get going whatsoever. Falkingham, White all had to get out of the throttle, and that's going to have repercussions through the field. Close call. Malik Ray going to dip out of line, and now we're going to see him start fanning out as they go to the corner. Here comes Falkingham to the inside of Kevin King. A little further back, you see Malik Ray, Lawson Peel there. Falkingham, though, going to be close. Can't quite complete the pass there.
We'll see if Falkingham can get it down on the inside here in 3. It's going to try it. Don't think it's going to work. Parker
Depends.
White there to help down on the bottom. Still wheel to wheel, and Parker White looking 3 wide. Can't get it done. Now there's contact with him and Jordan Worth. He's back up into the picture in that 97. Doucette is scooting away inside 20 laps to go.
And Parker White had an opportunity there, almost hooked Daniel Falkingham. Look at Jordan Worth now running Parker White up the racetrack. Blake Reynolds as well right here with them. Now Worth going to fall out of this group. Doesn't have any drafting help. Going to have to find a spot. I think he's going to be able to slot in behind Mercurio.
They are 4 wide headed to turn number 3. Hawkins, Spalding, Kevin McAdams, and Matthew Zwack. Hawkins went all the way down to the apron in the back straightaway to make that move work. He's still 3 wide on the bottom. He washes up the racetrack. He about took them all out, but they keep it pointed in the right direction.
And still, I mean, this is all from that restart. That stack-up effect has put everybody back together. And look at Spalding. Does not have the middle of the corner there. He's going to continue to slide back. That's going to open the door for McCandless. Chris Wetz, Michael Gonzalez going to make it 3 wide now. Nate Stewart all over the back bumper.
They Things have calmed down at the front of the field for now. You see Spalding still way up the hill in the mid-pack, trying to sort it out and get his wits about him there. You saw contact with Rabideau and Oshalim. They keep it pointed in the right direction. Your top 11, single file, nose to tail, scooting away from everybody else. Doucette, your leader. Kevin King second, then Falkingham, Parker White, and Blake Reynolds, your top 5.
And that was all, again, a result of all that
For the
shuffling
lead,
around.
here comes Kevin King.
Down to the inside on Doucette. Is he going to be able to make it stick? I think he is. Doucette's going to have to get out of the throttle here. Almost lost the car. Gets in the wall. Here comes Falkingham. Parker White down to the inside. No help coming for Doucette now, as Kevin King is also a sitting duck. You see Parker White, Falkingham all over each other as they go into turn 1 now.
Can Kevin King play defense for the next 16 laps? Daniel Falkingham right behind. The top 2 both looking for their first wins on 2023. For Parker White, he's looking for his 8th on the season. Doucette looking for his 3rd.
And again, we talked about Doucette and his point situation. All he needs to do is win, and that just got significantly tougher.
Oh,
here comes Falkingham. They're going to have the run on Kevin King here. He has no drafting help from Doucette. Do they get clear by the time they go into turn 1? I don't think so.
He tried to side draft him and pull him back. Falkingham drives it in deep. So does Parker White. Falkingham clear for the lead. They'll be side by side for second. That Interstate Batteries machine will try and pull it away down the back straightaway. And now he'll try and work the lanes down the back straightaway. Doucette gets turned by Parker White into Blake Reynolds, and the caution flag is out.
And I knew that Parker White was not going to have any drafting help. He tries a desperation move to get back in line to avoid getting freight trained, and it turns Ryan Doucette.
He wasn't clear on either end. Not out front, not out back.
But
and it takes out 3 fast cars with 15 laps to go.
You'll see it right here. I mean, Parker White doesn't have a choice. It's either that or he gets freight trained, loses almost 10 spots, and he's out of this race. He has to make this move. Just doesn't have the real estate to be able to do it there. Blake Reynolds was not happy, and I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be happy either if I was Blake Reynolds, but again, Parker White literally has no choice because it's either this or he loses 10+ spots. Just slightly misjudges it and turns those 3 cars into the wall. And under caution once again from Michigan inside. 15 laps to go.
Kevin King, he's going to need some help, I think, to get by this 054.
Yes, he is.
Falkingham has been the class of the field all night long.
And again, that 2-tire strategy was so dependent on Doucette and Kevin King being able to keep the 054 and the 011 at bay. And had that caution come out 2 or so laps earlier, then sure. But Kevin King is going to have a tough time. He's going to need a lot of drafting help, and I think as a result of being on 2 tires, he is more likely to get left out by this pack rather than get a push from anybody trying to get him past Falkingham.
Well,
that just shook things up.
This just got interesting.
Yeah, I mean, a desperation move from Parker White really puts the rest of this top 5 in question. I mean, again, Parker White's been one of our fastest cars all day, and he just finds himself in trouble at the end of this. And really has been an up and down return here for Parker. Finished 21st after the break at New Hampshire. We touched on that a little bit. Won at Pocono. And now is going to have a tough time getting back up here with 13 laps to go. Right now, that 011 currently runs in the 30th position.
We'll have a restart with, I think, 11 laps to go.
How aggressive are you if you're Kevin King on this restart? I mean,
Yes.
yeah, you don't really have a choice. You don't know if another caution's coming, but even so, it's going to be difficult to get around this 054, and you're not going to have many shots left. And even so, if you do get another caution, you want to be in that control position so you're able to build yourself a buffer just off of that gap alone. I mean, I don't know what Kevin King has up his sleeve here, but he's got to have something.
Lights out. Top the pace car. 11 laps to go. Here from Michigan, Daniel Falkingham is your leader.
Kevin King leaned back just a little bit as he tried to get a launch on Falkingham here.
Green flag.
Absolutely not. Falkingham dusts him. The only disadvantage he's at now is he doesn't have any help from cars behind. You see this group, really Malik Ray forward has already accrued a gap.
Ooh, and Fort Worth got a little sideways there.
Oh, David L. Brown almost just got turned, and he will get
and he
turned.
is
Matthew
turned.
Zwack.
Off Zwack. Gonzalez around. Blake Bryant in the wall. Caution's out. Nate Stewart catches the fence.
He almost just made big contact with that inside wall. Keeps it rolling. And again, that was just classic stack up on restarts.
Let's take a look. See what happened here.
It's
The
just David
83
L. Brown.
of Nate I know who you are. David L. Brown.
He just doesn't get the run off that Zwack does. Zwack makes a little bit of contact. Yeah, he almost has it saved, and then Zwack is there on the outside, and Brown just gets hooked from there.
Admin's put it on David L. Brown here. We'll see. He disagrees, saying that, no, he didn't get loose. He got turned. But he also did turn back up the racetrack across the nose of the 7 after he had it saved. So
I guess the real question now becomes, does Daniel Falkingham get this elusive first win? Because, again, he's been the dominant car all day, has fresher tires, has the track position on the single file start. I mean, it feels pretty stacked in his favor right now, so much so that you start to wonder, how does this go wrong for him? Because something's happened to him all season long in terms of misfortune. And he finally closed the deal out with a win here at Michigan.
It's going to be tough, I think, to get by Falkingham, especially if we keep wrecking the way we are.
Yeah.
Then we're going to have less laps for these guys to pick up a run and try and get by him. But, you know, I'm glad we solved the problem and that single file restarts has made the racing cleaner down the stretch. Anyway. Gonna have a restart inside 10 laps to go. I'm probably in trouble for saying that, but
yeah, thinly veiled, Jacob.
yeah, look, it happens at the end of races. I don't know what you want. Like, How many weeks in a row have we had 3 or more cautions in the final 15 laps of a race this year? Like,
been using the
outside
old
of the
green white
road
checker.
courses, like, it's part of the combo we get with this car and the talent that we have in the field, where just people full send it. List 8 in the race. Consequences be damned. And, you know, this car does not necessarily provide for good, clean racing. You look at Tuesday nights. Look at the Coke Series. You know, how many weeks in a row have they had to go single file restarts? And it's magically fixed the racing, even though it makes it awful. Like, it's all in the car.
Even so, lights out here on the pace car. We saw Kevin King lay back a little bit on that last restart. We just weren't green flag racing long enough. And like you alluded to, this gets tougher and tougher the more cautions we have later on here. Falkingham is just going to be able to nurse this thing to the end and not have to fight off Kevin King, Blake Reynolds, Brian Mercurio, everybody else with that draft. I think if you want somebody other than Falkingham here, your best bet's going to be a Blake Reynolds or Brian Mercurio, somebody that's going to be able to hop out of the line here, pass Kevin King, get to the back end of the 54, and send it like we've seen all day onto the entry of the corner, and maybe then you get past Daniel Falkingham. But all those things going to have to go right, going to have to be green flag racing, no cautions, and that has proven to be challenging enough tonight here for Michigan. So this will be interesting here to see, but they have a shot at least right now.
Here we go. 7 to go on the restart. Green flag. Another
Late
great launch from Falkingham. They're stacked up, second on back. We'll see if they can gather up a run. As Justin Malillo fell out, now he's back in. We're good.
2, 3 wide, a little further back. Here's Blake Reynolds. Oh, Buttafuoco really has to get out of the throttle there. Almost lost it. He's going to have to slot in line. Big move coming. McAdams going to go down to the inside now and single file up at the front. Does anybody have anything from Falkingham? Again, I think they're going to have to get around Kevin King if they want to have a shot.
We'll see if Kevin King can catch him. Otherwise, the pressure's going to be on to unseat the 88 from the second spot. 6 laps to go. He's got to run. Coming down the front straightaway. Let's see if he can do anything with it in the tire tracks of the 054.
Falkingham doing a great job of snaking this draft around as to, again, try to stave off this run right now. Here comes the 88 once again with a run down the backstretch just slightly. Really close call here. Here comes Wyatt Tinsley trying to work this high lane. Can he make anything work here? He is desperately trying, but no, Mercurio's going to be able to clear him.
Got to wonder if maybe Kevin King is going to try, as he's blocking down the front straightaway, going to try to set up a move and wait till the last lap if he can hold on to that second spot. Doesn't want to make the move too early. Kind of like we're at Indianapolis. You don't want the other driver to get a shot to slingshot back at you. 5 to go. Tinsley on the bottom. He's loose.
Tinsley did a great job. He's really going to have to utilize that side draft. It's just not even close. He's going to have to slot back in line in front of Jordan Worth. I don't think this inside lane is just a viable place right now. 5 laps to go. I think if you're going to see anybody, it's going to have to be on the outside like Tinsley's tried.
Reynolds has peeked to the inside.
Oh,
Contact
David L.
crash.
Brown wrecked again.
Chris Wetz, David L. Brown, Joseph Armstrong, and guess what? We're going to overtime.
And we saw how long it took for that group to get lined up and, I mean, even ready to make a move there in Falkingham. I don't know. That might have just gifted the win in a box with a bow to Daniel Falkingham, and you'll see it back here. It was close. David L. Brown just comes down on Wetz and turns him.
was trying to give room to the 20 and just had no awareness of the 71 to the inside.
Yeah, we're just trying to be
On
conducive
board.
on that outside, and you see contact turns him. Race control caused that on David Brown.
David L. Brown says he got hit by the 20 car, and I want to go back and rewatch this again on my own angle because it absolutely looked like there was no contact between the 83 and the 020. As the blame has been put on the 83, and I heard Ben say that he did look at it. And
Yeah, we'll go
yeah,
on
there
board
was
with
no
the 20
contact.
here.
Yeah, look at this. Nothing. Nothing until the 20 came off the wall as the 71 and 83 were coming back at the racetrack. David's just digging his own grave at this point.
And this is interesting. I mean, the entire chat has revolted against this discussion. David O'Brien was attempting to queue up, and now the chat has become about what kind of tacos everybody likes, just to avoid, I think, hearing it. Either way, again, an interesting battle up front. And I think a tough task got even tougher with that caution for Kevin King, Blake Reynolds, Brian Mercurio. I mean, you saw how tough it was to pass and how long it took for him to get grouped up. I just don't know if we have the time at this point to start a run like that. We'll see.
One lap to green. We'll have 2 laps to settle it. I think they changed the ruling to a racing deal instead of it being on David L. Brown, which is generous. But oh, Ben says not this one. Talking about last week at Pocono. Thanks to Ben for the clarification. All right, half lap to green. On our first attempt at a green-white checkered. And for Falkingham, he just has to put together 2 solid laps, and he comes away with his first win of 2023 and locks himself into the playoffs.
Has a really good shot at it here on this green-white checker. Does anybody on back, Kevin King, Blake Reynolds, Mercurio, Tinsley, have a shot at it? And I think, again, Tinsley had something figured out on that outside lane. It'll be interesting to see if he uses it.
Falkingham getting us set to go. Pace car is in. Green flag.
Falkingham with a good launch. It almost feels a little Talladega-esque. You don't want to get too far out in front. Kevin King following Falkingham in that snake. Big lead, though, going into turn 1 and 2.
Maybe too big of a lead if they can get organized from second on back. Question is, will they push Kevin King out in front, or will they go for second themselves? Lucas Plessel outmowed the field down off turn 2. He saved it. We stay green. Coming to the white flag. Still Falkingham with a 6-car length lead off turn 4. White flag. 1 more lap to go at Michigan.
I think they're going to have a run. I just don't know if it's going to be in time. Falkingham, again, doing a great job of snaking that draft. Here comes Wyatt Tinsley. Big sin down to the inside. He might even make contact with Kevin King. All the way to the second position is Wyatt Tinsley, but that might just gift this race to Daniel Falkingham. They go down the backstretch.
And that's your race. They'll race it out for second. Daniel Falkingham will look in his mirror and smile. He'll bring it through 3 and 4. And for the first time in 2023, and for the first time in his FTF career, they crash behind. Daniel Falkingham's finally a winner. He wins at Michigan. The 69th different winner in the Barr Visual FTF Cup Series history.
And even a little further back, photo finish we had for second. I mean, that is a hard-fought first win. We talked pre-race about how many times this win had eluded him. And you got to know how elated he is to finally be a winner in the Barr Visuals FTF Cup Series. He will burn that thing down, and rightfully so. Again, been so close so many times. He finally gets one at Michigan.
Finally gets one, period. He'll burn down the house here on the front straightaway. Let everybody know that, yep, he's locked into the playoffs now.
He might blow it up.
Maybe that thing's illegal.
Yeah, and that's why nobody could pass.
Yeah. Yeah, it has nothing to do with the next-gen car being a piece of you-know-what. Let's take a look at results here from Michigan as he slides it into victory lane. Daniel Falkingham, your winner. Kevin King finishes second. That is his best finish on the year. Still hasn't found a way to get to victory lane, though. Wyatt Tinsley third. Blake Reynolds fourth. Jordan Worth with a top 5 finish. Daniel Botafuco sixth. Kevin McAdams seventh. Hawken eighth. Matthew Zwack ninth. Jack Mace comes home with 10th.
Group of Mickey Mouses here. 11th, Cosmin Ionescu. Ryan Naraki 12th. Joseph Armstrong comes home 13th. Phil McCandless 14th. Justin Malillo in the 15th position. Good run for Cole Hooper. He comes home in the 16th position. Nathan Rabideau 17th. Jonathan Oates 18th. Ryan Doucette 19th. And Brian Mercurio, after getting turned out of turn number 4, comes home 20th.
21st is Malik Ray. 22nd, Lawson Peel. 23rd, Parker White. Man, did he have himself a night back there. 24th, Jonathan Oshalem. 25th, Jake Poulin. 26th, Malachi Drake. 27th, Matt Spalding. 28th, Nick Miller. 29th, Paul Mikolajczyk. Blake Bryant, 30th.
And get the rest here. Seth Knoll, 31st. Brian Zabilski in 32nd. Lucas Plessel, 33rd. Chris Wetz in the 34th position tonight. Nate Stewart, 35th. David L. Brown had himself a tough night in 36th. Michael Gonzalez, 37th. Brett Pancari, 38th. Logan Helton in the 39th position. Devin Mistak rounds out your top 40.
Final 4. Frisch, Pandicio, Sander Nyhoff. I forgot Kyler Wynn was even in this race. I felt like we didn't talk about him at all, and maybe that's because we didn't, but he finishes 44th and last. Everybody else did not make the show. Let's talk with our race winner, Daniel Falkingham, and made it easy, or made it look easy there on those last 2 laps. Was it best case scenario there that the cautions kept coming late and the drivers couldn't get a big enough run behind you?
It definitely was a help because, like, thankfully with that GWC, only 2 laps is what I needed because, you know, with the more laps we run, they're just going to get back to me on my bumper because I could nail the restart through turns 1 and 2. I could, like, pull away by, like, half a second, but then they would just catch right up back to me because the draft is so strong. And I knew Kevin was on 2 tires, so I didn't think he was going to make, like, an egregious move because he didn't really want to give up his drag position because he took 2 tires. So I knew he was going to try to stay in line, but I knew I had, like, Blake, Wyatt, and those guys coming behind me as well. So, yeah. It's definitely tough for those last two restarts, but I'm thankfully glad we had that single. I'm thankfully glad we had single file for that last one because I definitely had to learn after last week after we lost the win on Sunday. So still mad at myself I lost on Sunday, but definitely played my restarts a bit better. Thankfully with single file, then I had Kevin's two tires kind of holding up the field behind me. So definitely a lot of things went my way, but it feels good to be an FTF winner for the first time. So it feels great.
I was going to ask, how relieved are you now to have your first FTF win and to lock yourself into the playoffs now?
It feels great. Yeah, we're in the playoffs now. We're locked in. So now all we got to do is maybe try to gain some more points to get as many like playoff points as we can for the first round and stuff. Because you never know what's going to happen. Because I know we got a lot of wildcard tracks going in there, and hopefully we can just keep driving like this. Definitely think I'm finding my form after the summer break. Because our first half was so up and down, but I think we're finally starting to find some good form in the second half. So hopefully we can keep carrying that into the playoffs, and maybe who knows, we can make a run for the championship. Still a long way to go, but definitely puts us in a good spot. So really happy.
Daniel, congratulations on the first career win, and we'll see you next weekend at the doubleheader at Indy.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thanks to all the admins who put this on. Shout out to JD Laird. JDR Graphics are actually putting these banners on my Coke paint scheme because I didn't know how to do that. And the first race, we bring out the interstate colors. We go out and win it. So that's what I need to do all along, I guess. And also, I guess we're leading the general classification standings even more now. So hopefully we keep this going. And thanks for you guys for your broadcast, and thanks to everyone who supports.
Not only that, you're $5 richer because you had the yellow on your car. And obviously, you're going to keep leading it after tonight since you won. So you will get a little cash to go along. Well, you get cash for winning as is, but you get a little more now with the yellow banner. Daniel, thanks so much. We'll see you next week.
I appreciate it.
Daniel Falkingham, your winner tonight. Kevin Kings with Caleb.
Yeah, Kevin coming home with a second place finish tonight. Season best for you. We saw how tough passing was. Was it that 2-tire call, or do you think if you had 4, you would have been able to get to Falkingham?
I don't know. I think I had pretty good pace. I've been feeling terrible the last 3 days. I'm trying to get over COVID, so I'm surprised I even got second there. I felt good the long run. Didn't feel good at the end, but I knew taking 2 was probably going to be an option just because the single files and the way the draft was working and all that fun stuff. I thought a miracle could happen. Could probably get the win and do something, but yeah, I'm glad that's over. Holy hell.
Yeah, it was a heck of a race for your camp for sure. Saw you battling in that top 10, top 5 all night, really. And with that call, really propelled you up to the front. Again, do you think the single file restarts there for you kind of helped your cause, hurt your cause?
I think if anything, it probably just delayed anything. I felt like I was really fast after 10 laps. There was one run where I got pushed back. I think David took it 3, and he hit me, whatever happened. I went back, and then Jack got loose and pushed me back to like mid-20s. And then I basically just drove all the way to like almost top 10. So I felt like after 10 laps, that was my strong suit for whatever reason. Couldn't tell you why. I just felt really fast. So the single file stuff, you kind of just bide your time and hope that someone's around you to help you when you do make a pass or try to make a pass. And then it just, like I said, it just delayed kind of my process. But once we went single file, we had like 20 something to go. I said, you know what? I normally would be a person who takes 4 tires just because it's safe. I just said, I'm gonna try this, and if anything, it's a Coke knowledge bank item. I took 2 and actually forgot to not take enough. I took too much fuel, which didn't help, but decided, you know what, worst case, I probably won't go back to where I was, so it'd probably be a win-win. And if I manage a top 5 or 3 or something, I don't know. That was great. So pretty happy. I'm really happy Dan won. He's such a good kid. I'm really excited that he had a really good race and ended up winning. We had some fun there.
All right. Well, thank you. And again, congratulations on a second place run here tonight, Kevin. And hopefully you can pick up that first win in the Indy doubleheaders next week.
Thank you. I'm going to take a shower and go to bed. Appreciate you guys.
That's Kevin King. He comes home second place here tonight, Jacob.
The Michael Jordan flu game. How about it for one Kevin King? Let's talk with Wyatt Tinsley, third place finisher. And Wyatt, you're like a bat out of hell on that last restart. Did anything cross your mind on that last lap that maybe if you stay behind the 88, you can catch Falkingham? Or did you feel that Falkingham was just a lost cause at that point and you were just racing for second?
After the last lap, I don't think there was anyone catching Falkingham just based surely on there's Kevin had 2 tires. So I was just trying to get what I can and hopefully finish the best I can. Not racing for points really because I already have that win. I'm locked into the playoffs, of course. So I'm just trying to get everything I can get, maybe more playoff points, of course. But yeah, it was definitely really hard to get around Kevin because if you even tried to get under him, the outside would just train you and you would go back to 5th, 6th, and after that it's just over. So anyway, I would say when we had that long run, it was a fun race. I definitely learned a lot for Coke though next week, so it should be fun.
Talk about that lone green flag run. Is it frustrating having the cautions constantly and going from double file to single file there? Does that add any pressure or frustration to you from behind the wheel?
Yeah, definitely. It just delays, like Kevin said, it delays the fact and of us racing, and it really, like, you don't know what you're gonna do next, and so it just hurts. I was sitting really good there, slotted in right behind Parker before, right on that, I guess, our longest run of the race, and was sitting pretty. So I just sucks that that we couldn't go green at Michigan 5-lane track. So oh well.
Wyatt, congratulations on the top 3. We'll see you at the Indy doubleheader
Yeah,
next
just
week.
thank you. Congrats to Fockingham on winning. Definitely one deserved one coming. He's been really putting in time to improve, and I really see it, and I'm so glad he won the race. And thank you for everyone watching, of course. I was so happy, Jacob, and Caleb, that you're both broadcasting this race, because I love when you broadcast stuff, Jacob. It's just amazing. So appreciate everyone watching. Yeah, I'm being honest.
It's nights like tonight that make it a little tougher, but I generally appreciate it. Wyatt, it make it a little bit better.
I think
sure.
I think we need to get you something, maybe, and the Coke, man, because you'd be a damn good commentator in Coke. I would say that one. Either way, you too,
we'll
Caleb.
see what comes down the
y'all
line.
are both underrated and are really good. So I appreciate both of y'all. Y'all have a great night. And well, I don't know what's next. What's the next track?
Indy. The
Indy
road course
or
and then
Indy
the oval.
Roval? We're going to
Both.
both?
Yep.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Alrighty. Thanks,
see you
Wyatt.
then.
See you next week.
Yep.
That's yeah. Wyatt. And I think we're good. I think we're good to end now.
Hey, y'all, Jacob, you already know my closing thoughts. I've made it explicitly clear here at the end of this thing. All I have to say, congratulations to Daniel Fockingham, because that was a hard-fought win, and it's so good to see him finally get into victory lane. And we will see you. We will be seeing you next week at Indianapolis.
If there was a place that was to ever be turned into a Buc-ee's parking lot, if Texas isn't first on the list, Michigan is definitely right behind it on the list. That's about as much as I got for you tonight. And the next-gen car, scrap it. Let's start over. Nonetheless, Daniel Fockingham, your winner tonight. We'll see you at the Indy Road Course. The good news is that we're doing single file restarts no matter what next week. So, we don't have to quite worry about it all that much, and then Indy Oval on Sunday. But for Zach Johnson, all the FTF folks, Caleb Hoffman alongside me, I'm Jacob Pitts. Daniel Fockingham, your winner tonight from Michigan. We'll see you next week.